Yeah, I'm early. Early. Like if you early, then put your camera on. All right, people. I make sure the back is, you know what I'm saying? See polyepic. Yo, our hats is official. Y'all gotta go get some clothes. They gotta get that merch. Y'all gotta go get that merch. Listen, when you go to American Healer, it's up on the top. Just click the AmericanHealer.website. Just go to the top, the menu bar, click it, and it's gonna say that's the first thing on the menu. That is the first thing on the menu. So before we get started, the first thing we want you to do, obviously, is take a minute and send me some money at $minister. No, I'm just kidding. We want you to subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Hit the like button, copy the URL, share the URL. Yeah. And then you can go American Healer .website. Not .com, people, .website. And scroll on down, and here is the book, the PDF, the presentation. And we still here with the so if you already got it, it's still the same. I haven't changed it yet. I've been so honestly, I've been so caught up in the writing process. Yeah, it's almost like a diary in a way. You know, it's different. I haven't and I haven't really discussed it with anybody except maybe Carly. But yes, this is different. I don't think this is my best book, but I think this will probably be my most popular. You know, niggas like free shit. No. Just the content, I think it's I enjoy it a lot. I didn't know people was into this. You know, like I said, like I tell, my grandfather was a Mason, my father was a Mason, my brothers are Masons. So for me, you know what I'm saying, it was just like breathing. You don't think about breathing. You just, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't think people was interested in this subject. You know, so it's easier for me to teach this way, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the way I learn, with pictures. If you notice my books are not word heavy. I'm not heavy on words, because I think if you see something, it's super clear what it is. It doesn't take a lot of verbiage to get the message. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's always been what I've been. In fact, the first I King book, it's not in print no more. It's out of print. And I don't even have one. I might have one somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. But that book was almost all picture. That was my first switch up. Like before that, I was doing the traditional style, 97% text all throughout the book, just text. You know what I'm saying? Very little pictures. Or not as much, you know what I'm saying, as I'd like to anyway. And then as I got, I ain't even gonna say comfortable, really, as I got a lot of complaints, you know, everybody liked the material, but they was like, you know, the editing, bro, these are really bad. I was like, yeah, but first of all, I didn't charge you novel money for the book. Secondly, this ain't really about that, because I'm not really trying to be like an author. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear me bragging on videos like you hear other people packaging them. Oh, I wrote this many books. I wrote this. I don't do that. Honestly, I would have to sit down and count and shit to figure out how many books I wrote. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's my bad. Maybe I need to be better at marketing myself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a romantic with this. You know, I believe that the truth, the information, you know, it should even sound crazy when I say it. You know what I'm saying? Because people are savage. Here we go. Yeah, people are savage, but it's a beautiful thing, though, to see how people are responding. Because, and you know what? I'll be honest. I should have known when we first launched the Order of the SoulCraft, and we put out the first scroll, and everybody went crazy. And in my mind, I was like, do they know what they're reading? Like, do you see apprentice trainer, teacher trainer, master trainer in the first scroll? Do you see red house and blue house? Like, that's in the first scroll. Y'all need to go back and read y'all scrolls again. Y'all not studying, right? But for me, it's all anatomy. See, this is one of the things that I have to impress upon your mind while we're having these conversations. It's all about being symbol literate. And a part of being symbol literate is having a boundary. You have to have a boundary because symbols are mirrors. You can only see in a symbol something that's already in you. So we're going to look back at Solomon's, I think that's the name of the video anyway. So just on that note, what I'm saying, we're going to go, we're going to go back and we're going to look at, what the hell did I just do? We're going to go back and look at, Solomon's temple and the melanin subject. Right? I was waiting for this joint for a minute. So that's why I updated it. Look at this, a blank page right here. I was about to put something here. But see, that this is exactly why I didn't put it up. I didn't put up another updated version because I'm still in here going crazy. And when I said I was going to put out the updated version, I was up to 330 organized slides. And we are, let's see where we at right now. Okay, this is 350 right here. So we stop. Yeah, so right now we are Right now we rolling pretty good. Right now we have 440 slides. Yeah, right now we have 440 slides. So, and that's organized. I still got another almost 400 slides that I haven't really if I go down to the bottom, we had 706 slides. But some of these are blank down here. Some of these are blank down here. Yeah, there's a lot of information down here that you know, like these are half thoughts, 3/4 thoughts. Like these aren't fully complete. Some of these. Oh yeah, yeah. This oh my goodness. Because when I tell folks, and remember we did the video, we did like an 8-hour marathon. It's a French Arab put out an insane movie, breaking down everything about Kemet and the pyramids and all that. And we did the whole shit. We watched the whole shit live on the channel because he lets everybody. Anybody could use his shit. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really dug into it to start cutting it up and using, you know, whatever. But people are like, oh no, the pyramids wasn't made with mixed stones. I'm like, y'all are bugging. I got the hieroglyphs where they was mixing the stone. I got the hieroglyphs where they was mixing the stone. Y'all niggas ass out. It's over. I got the hieroglyphs where they was mixing the stones. I got the hieroglyphs where they was mixing the stones. I got the hieroglyphs where they was dealing with the first, huh? You can't tell me nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Like so anyway, we got a lot of work. We got a lot of shit up in there. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to yeah, I know I'm gonna have to do like some Saturday and Sunday shit coming up sooner or later where I go. You know how I do. That's gonna have to happen sooner or later because you know I ain't really a fan of doing these small videos, but I'm trying to actually be more, you know, I'm trying to listen to folks a little bit and whatever. So um okay. All right. You know what? We might have to go through this Genesis stuff in order to really make sense of the melanin thing. So that's what we'll do. We'll just start, you know, we'll take it easy. And then as we revisit the subjects over and over, we'll get deeper and deeper. But I'm gonna try to just introduce them and, you know, like have these opening talks where we touch on a subject and get people familiarized so you can build up the memory. And then we'll get deeper and deeper, you know, as we go along. But yeah, so anyway, let's walk through this garden thing really quickly. So you should already see it right there, right? Here's your serpent, and here's your tree, and here's your pillars. You got your serpent, your tree, and your pillars. And I know y'all like, wait a minute though. Pillars? What make you think that there was pillars? There's only one tree. That's because y'all don't read that book. I need to turn y'all back into readers again. Remember, it was a bunch of trees in the garden, but it was two main trees, two main pillars, two main lights, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get to it though, because they're not the only ones in the Bible that had to make the same choice. But we're going to review this and we'll see what it is, right? So I guess we should start off with this guy, right? Brain, spine, right? No Kundalini, no chakras. Brain, spine, real science. Now, in order for this to make sense, because there's some okay, so let me say this, right? There's some verses in the Bible that you will read those verses and you be like, yo, somebody got some splaining to do. Not explaining, but splaining. You like, yo, somebody got some splaining to do, because when you do more hearing about the Bible than reading it, you get an idea in your mind of what's in the book, but what's actually in there could be shocking. And I made it a habit now. I got to go back at least to the Septuagint, whatever you. But I at least got to go back to that to feel confident with what I'm reading, because I ain't gonna lie, I got a little rusty on the Bible over the years, you know what I'm saying? But going back over the information to give it to you guys, I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this verse right here. Let me show y'all what I'm saying. Verses like these, right? Watch this. Verses like this. You see this shit here? Look, these verses are in the Bible. Because I'm like, wait a minute. The snake is always, hold up, we got to go back to me again. The snake is always the bad guy. The snake is the snake. Like, yo, you a snake. But snakes wasn't bad in our culture. Snakes was divinity. Remember, snakes represented the most learned, the most intelligent, all of the master architects and builders was represented by the divine what? The divine nigga. When you see that serpent, they keep saying serpent. See, they don't want to empower you. Fuck that. I'm not letting go of the word nigga. And especially now that I got the Bible, it got my back. As I ain't gonna lie, last September, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying the word nigga. Even if I'm just doing it to please other people that aren't that literate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stop saying the word nigga, because clearly people aren't gonna read. They're gonna die dumb. And as much as they're against white folks, they live by white folks' suggestions. If we got a word that meant king, God, divine, architect, builder, this, that, and the other, everything amazing, and some other nigga come and start like saying it to us angrily and demeaning, after we forget the definition of it, we start to believe it's what this nigga's saying. We start to believe it's what the white folks are saying. But all you got to do is look around and see that all of these people is in love with everything ancient and everything black. So who is the fool? And then we look around and we go, it's crazy how we do this. But nowhere in the world are there more Bible thumpers than right here in the States. And we have no idea what's in there. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest fucking thing. People are not even reading the book. The serpent, the snake, Leviathan, the big serpent, the great serpent. I'm like, yo, okay, so I get it. Clearly, whoever wrote the Bible, while they was doing the divine whatever, a snake must have bit their ass. Middle of divine revelation. Respectfully, I'm just kidding. I know that might have offended somebody. I'm sorry about that. But in my mind, I was like, yo, something's going on. Because when I come across these verses like this, I'm confused. So we go to Zechariah chapter 10, verse 8. God is saying, I will hiss for them and gather them, for I have redeemed them, and they shall increase as they have increased. I'm like, wait, God said I will hiss for my people? So wait a minute. Do y'all understand what we're looking at? Maybe I need to type it onto the screen so that way we can, maybe it'll work if I type it onto the screen. Let me see if I can get a vibe. Okay. Boom. Yeah, you see what I'm typing. God is a snake and his people are snakes. Now, I know some of y'all is like, yo, this is some real scary conversation you having over here, Inky. Trust me, that's why I started with 15, 20-minute monologue about how uncomfortable these verses made me when I first heard them. See, you even looking at this shit like, Inky, now you made that up. That ain't in no damn Bible. Well, that's the beautiful thing about the Bible. It's damn near in everybody else. I'm almost certain you got one there right now. Oh, shit. And if you don't have an actual one, you got the internet. But Isaiah 7:18 says, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt. Of Egypt, be clear. And for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. Isaiah 5:26-30. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. And behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. Now, let me tell you, there are some versions of the Bible out there that have changed these passages. So you will look, and I read passages. So I'm not making this up. I read the passages. That's one of the reasons why I was like, yo, I'm uncomfortable with anything less than Septuagint or older. You know what I'm saying? Or at least something. I got to have something before the King James. I can't rely on that. And all them international copies and all that other crazy shit, yeah, them joints is, I done read joints where it says, I will whistle for them, I will call after them, like all kinds of substitutes. Because clearly, over the years, in the attempt to continue to demonize Black folks, that's what it is. You have to accept that this is your heritage as a Black person. You have to accept that the serpent on all of our royal hats was called nigger. That was the name of the serpent. People are using the word serpent so that You don't get offended, you goofy ass dumb niggas. Yeah, that's what they're saying. But they really just covering up your history because they want to leave you at that. I promise you, the world wants to leave you with the idea that nigga means ignorant, lazy, blah, 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 all that shit that we picked up from Jim Crow. The world wants to leave you with that. The moment we identify with the word nigga, the moment we identify with the word nigga, immediately we take all of our ancient shit back over, including the ancient shit that became modern. Hint, hint, wink, wink, like masonry. Yeah. Y'all didn't pay attention. Y'all are in love, and this what y'all don't get. Y'all been in love with masonry. Masonry makes you feel good. You love masonry. You love masonry. Look at the three wise men. These are the three wise men from America. This guy initiated this guy who initiated this guy. Yeah. Now, I've heard a lot of brothers talk about this, especially in the Moorish movement. Oh my goodness. The Moors, like, they get a hard on to show that picture right there. They love that. They flash that shit. Every single Moor you know. Because that's damn near a selling point for them. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know anything about it, they explain your nationality, you know. Think about the program. Ain't that the same shit as what Elijah and them was running, explaining your nationality? Like, you're not really a black man from America. You're really the lost tribe of Shabbat. Blah, blah. Like, it's masonry. You know what I'm saying? But nobody discusses the obvious. And I'm saying to myself, all of these motherfuckers that's saying they Masons, I'm trying to see, I'm like, where y'all? I don't know. Because the easiest thing, you don't need to see a fez. You don't even need to see Masons sometimes. You don't even need to see them. All you got to do is hear the name. Well, I ain't gonna say how, because y'all are not initiated. So if you're not initiated, you got to try to do a lot of figuring out. You got to get a lot of evidence and receipt. The moment you initiate it, you go, wait a minute. Your mama didn't name you noble. Your mama didn't name you master. And your mama didn't name you honorable. So where does one come across those titles? How does one earn those titles? How does one go from the hood? Right? How does one go from hustling? Right? Let's talk about Noble Dryly. How does one go from hustling? You running around, circus, how you go from the lowest level in the hood? Nothing. Ignorant. You're just trying to feed yourself. Like all of us. That ain't me today, but that's damn sure my story. You think you had it tough. And I'm looking at the camera. I know a zillion whoever's could watch this. It's almost a guarantee your life wasn't harder than mine. You know what I'm saying? But I don't sing that shit online. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna work. That's why I believe in the stick to info. You know what I'm saying? But the way you do that is education. Self-development. Self-development is actually just education. So as they're promoting, self-development. What is self-development? Self-development is some marketing shit, because really self-development is nothing more than loving yourself, right? How do you love yourself? You make yourself smarter and stronger every day. One or the other. This is what my father taught me. If a day goes by that you didn't make yourself smarter or stronger, you wasted that day. And at any moment, oxygen might get low and God might have to get you up out of here, champ, you in the way. That's how my pops was talking to me. I was a little boy, 2-3 years old. He like, yeah, you know, yeah, God ain't got no time. You might be wasting oxygen out here. Later on, I grew up. I'm like Hitler saying you oxygen wasters. I'm like, you know what fuck is this? I'm like, shit. Yes, you know. But anyway, back to the info. This shit obvious. These are titles that you earn. These are degrees. Noble, master, duh. Why would Elijah be calling Farad master? Think about that. And I mean, think about that in the most basic way. Like, don't try to make it intelligent. Just think about it on some regular shit. Elijah running around teaching the black man is God. Everybody eyeballs work. You know that Farad Muhammad is not a black man. I'm not going to say that he's a white man. A lot of people, they get crazy. He's a white man, but I'm going to just say he's not a black man. Clearly, when you see him. So if the sentiment is real and Elijah feel how he feel, which I know it was real. You can't build what he built if it wasn't real. Then the obvious is clearly he's not calling him master just fucking because. Why would he do that? That's the whole opposite. That's the reason father-in-law and they broke off later on because they like, hold on, black man is God. Well, we got homeboy up on the wall. I mean, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on is that's Master Farad Muhammad. He raised Elijah. So that's Master Farad. He stays up on the wall, period. That's how Elijah's like, yo, hold on. My life was rough. That guy there, he came and brought me some info. That information has changed my family, changed my neighborhood, thousands, millions of other people. That's Master Farad Muhammad. All that other shit, that's irrelevant. And the information is still helping people to this day. And it's helping people, it's helped people that's helped people to build on top of that. Sabi was a part of that before he left and did his own thing. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, I guess I could say, you know, because my uncles, you know, older men, you know, yeah. So that information is still, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but that's how they go. So now you got it. Okay, those are terms. Those are names. Those are titles. You don't come from the hood of Chicago or the hood of Detroit and then you're honorable. That's no, you're not. Think about that. How you just out and about, you know, you smoking, drinking, wilding, doing what you're doing. You got your lady at home, little side something you trying to chase around, you know, you wilding, you know, you just doing, you living. How you gonna go in front of people now and have these people call you honorable? That's not, no, these are titles that you earn as your degree of enlightenment changes. All right, we get back to the work. We get back to the melanin shit. But I need y'all to be able to see. I'm tired of being the three-eyed man in the land of the blind. Forget the two-eyed in the land of the blind where you got one-eyed guys trying to rule. I got three eyes in the land of the blind. And I'm frustrated like shit. I need y'all to wake it on up. I need y'all to wake it on up. I need y'all to wake it all the way up. All right, so let's get back to this Bible thing, though, because I really want to deal with this. Did I pass her? I think that's another thing I got to do. I got to put my sections in here, and yeah, because I be getting lost in this book. I be getting lost in here. Like, where was we at? All right, so we over here. This is where we was at. God is a snake, and his children are snakes. Okay, God is a snake, his children is a snake, so he hissing so the other snakes can hear. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna have to put something on this. I don't feel good with this convo with it naked like that. We're gonna have to get one of them niggas up in here. Unintended. Let's get one of these niggas in here. Let me find King Tut. King Tut, low hanging fruit. He's always available for photos. He always available for photos. So we're gonna get him up in here somehow. Actually, you know what? He do need his own page. Let's do that. That way I can make it big because I ain't really trying to show the whole picture, only what's relevant. Oh, I forgot about this. Blood clot. Yeah. Let's get it so it's plain so y'all know what I'm saying because I know some of y'all may not understand what I'm saying. And it fucks me up because I hear people that identify with Kemet also say, yo, don't call me a nigga, or yo, don't use the word nigga. I'm like, bro, you got to get your shit together, man. What are you doing? Are you coming or going? Do you identify that these are your ancestors or not? It's not a thing you have to identify as, but if you do, then you gotta act like you know what it is. These snakes was called niggas all over. These snakes was called niggas all throughout ancient cultures. So that's how you got so many countries and places that's named Negus, Negas, this, that, and the other, because this right here, remember, Egypt ran the world, and the whoever was sitting on that throne, you see what it is. They got to have that serpent right there. That nigga got to sit right there. When you put him on, you up. I wanted you to be. What are you doing? There we go. All right, I'll work on it. I'll figure it out. But y'all got it. Y'all see him right there. Y'all see him right there. Yeah, I'm right there too. The niggas is out. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. But we got it. If you don't got it, you ain't gonna get it. It's all right. But I want to show you where the hissing sound comes from, though. Right? So remember, we talked about the third ventricle. This right here, actually, let me do it like we doing it for TV. Bang, there you go. This right here is an article where they discuss it. You have a tornado, a toroid, if you will, in your third ventricle of your brain. And I was saying this for so much years. Everybody was saying that's pseudo. You ain't got no articles to prove it. Mm-hmm. When this article hit, I felt good and bad because at the same time, I'm like, damn, yo, if I could get the people to support properly, we could have went global with this because I was 10 years ahead of these people. You know what I'm saying? But on the other side, at least I'm happy that somebody put an article out so ignorant niggas could believe what someone else is saying and then refer back to me and go, oh, yeah, yo, you know what you were saying? Yeah, this article just came out last year, but yeah, I remember you were saying this shit back in 2005. All right. So that is the hissing. The hissing is coming from the third ventricle. The hissing is coming from the third ventricle. See, this is why I was saying, if you go back to all of your holy stuff, right? Your holy books, your myths, your legends, your stories, if you go back and you add in the magnetism, if you add in the electromagnetic radiation, the light, all this stuff makes sense. If you sit there and you don't put no real science into this, and you just saying to yourself, damn, it's clearly, it says it in the Bible. So that can't be undone. It says, God is clearly saying he's going to hiss after his people. So now you got to deal with it. Either God is a snake and he's hissing at snakes, because nobody's going to answer a hiss unless you're a snake. So there's that. or light, knowledge, information, as it's coming in, it excites the brain. It excites the brain. It speeds up the circulation in the third ventricle. It releases dopamine. That light coming in. You're designed for that light coming in to stimulate your brain to produce endorphins. The endorphins help produce the experiences that you have. The love that you have, where you feel that the thing that make you want to keep studying and want to keep researching and want to keep hearing information like this, like that is hardwired into you when you tap into that original source. That's hardwired into you. And it creates a hissing sound. Now, you might need some equipment to hear it. You might need some equipment to hear it. See, but that's the difference. Like me, in my mind, I'm fully grounded in the fact that my God is way too big for anybody to fuck with. So if there's something somewhere that looks crazy, most people I know, if you show them something crazy in the Quran and they Muslim, they'll get angry with you and overlook that thing you showed them and never go back to it and just like live their life creeping around it. Me, I'm going to keep ramming right the hell into that until I get an answer. I'm going to need to figure that out. Like that, God hissing after niggas, I was like, hold on, bro. I chill. I gotta figure this out. I got too much love for my creator, and anything that attempts to even describe the creator, I'm in. I'm down. I'll support it. I want to see what you got, what you talking about. I love love. So, so God is hissing. Wait, hold on. I'm like, hold on, man. It can't be the snake in the beginning. Think about the book. The book starts off with a snake and it ends with a big snake. Little serpent, big serpent starts the book. That's how the book goes. First Genesis, the little snake. Revelation, big snake. I'm like, nah. There's no way that in between the two snakes, the two bad guys, they both supposed to be the devil. There's no way that God is hissing for niggas. Like that cannot be a thing. That was a thing. See, but now that I get it. See, the anatomy, they had equipment, but the anatomy was still a little more crude in how they laid things out. And I mean, you look at it, it looks just like a snake. This is the serpent. This is the serpent. You got to remember, you always in the story. You are always in the story, right? All right. So, these are kind of some things we'll get into later, but for now, we're going to lay this thing out, right? So here is where it's all taking place, just so you get an idea of what's going on, right? Here's the fourth ventricle. Here's the third ventricle, right? This is the spot of action, right? This is literally water filled. That's why they got it blue like that, right? This is water filled. This is blue. This is the river that Moses went down. And everybody, you keep hearing these stories of rivers for all of the prophets. This is the river they went down. It was initiation. This is the river. This is called the Aqueduct of Silvius. This is an actual thing. This is called the Aqueduct of Silvius. This is also your silver cord. Maybe y'all might be familiar with that term, the silver cord. This is the silver cord. It's the Aqueduct of Silvius. Literally, that's what the name of this is. Right? Okay, so let's jump in here. Okay, no, we're not jumping in there. Man, where is my Bible stuff at? Oh, Lord, that is not my Bible stuff there. No. Telling you, I gotta do this joint over. Yeah, hold on. My other computer. This one should get real when you're trying to type on two computers. Okay, why is it all the way down here? Yeah, I got a lot of organizing to do in this thing here. We down here, and we should be way up. It should be a lot higher. Anyway, we're gonna jump into Genesis, right? No, we're gonna jump into Genesis here. Bang. I know y'all be like, yo, what was that slide right there? What was that? What slide? What was that? Don't worry, you're gonna have it all. Right. All right, so let's start here. And the two were naked, both Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed. Now the serpent was the most crafty of all the brutes on the earth, which the Lord God made. And the serpent said to the woman, wherefore has God said, eat not of every tree of the garden? We literally going to walk through this. Genesis chapter 3, just in case you want to pull up something on your own, right? This is what we're going to walk through this. So the first thing that we're going to pay attention to, the most crafty, right? So now We're going to have a full stop right here for a second. What was the first mega bomb that I dropped on everybody? Jesus is a nigga. We looked it up in Hebrew, we looked it up in Arabic. And the modern definitions is just craftsman or carpenter. You go back to the older definitions, they give you more adjectives. They lay it out for you more. They say artificer, builder, teacher, I seen, wise, intelligent, shit like that, right? But what I want to point out here that's very tricky is crafty. It not only means intelligent, but it means somebody that is highly interested in like fraternities type of, like you love the craft. So that's like another way. Like this symbolism is in a lot of different ways, right? So you got to pay attention to that, especially when you know in this book, nigga, the same word that means snake. The same word, listen to this now, pay attention. I can't say this enough. I cannot say this enough. Y'all have to get this stuff through your brain. I know I'm fighting against years of brainwash, but listen. In this book, Jesus is the star of this book. Jesus is called nigga in this book. His father is called nigga in this book. They're the only two. And it's two of them, just like there's two serpents in this book. I didn't write the book. I'm just reading it. So they have the nigga that they're not going to call. They're going to call him a snake, a serpent, some other shit. But prior to this Bible, we know what that is. And Moses was educated in Egypt, and they all lived in Egypt before the ex, So everybody that's in this book, they would be referring to snakes as niggas. Because that's what they was called in that time. The pharaohs, the gods are wearing them as a sign of intelligence, power. And, like that's what it's there for. That's what it's representing. I promise you, the snake on their head is not representing lazy, all that other shit you got from Jim Crow. So you got to deal with that. Like when you're reading this book, you got to read it. You got to apply your intelligence, your critical thinking. So that before that book was written for thousands of years, the snakes was called niggas. They called Jesus and his father a nigga in this book. So if you know those two things, that should create benefit of the doubt for you. Like, hold on. Hold on. No, we're not going for this. The snake is not the devil. There's something else I have to go back to the book. So that's what we're doing right now. We're going back to the book. Right? We're going back to the book. But of the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden, God said, ye shall not eat of it unless you will die. So if you eat that, you're going to die. Now, again, to the uninitiated mind, that means real death. Like you got to get killed. You see, Eve was confused. She didn't understand that death was symbolic and that the tree represented information, but the process of her eating from the tree was a part of her initiation and then education. See, even the snake itself is the symbol of what? Death and rebirth. So that had nothing to do with actual dying. That's why but we'll get there. But God knew that in whatever day you should eat of it, your eyes would be open and you would be as gods, knowing good and evil. This does not sound like the snake is tricking anyone. Even though he kind of is, though, it's low key he is. Because remember, this is your brain and your spine. This is her brain and her spine. This is her mind. This is her having a conversation with herself, right? But this is her brain and her mind, her heart, because she's actually faced with a choice, right? Anyway, the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes to look upon and beautiful to contemplate. What I just told you. I need another underline. Let me grab that. And it was beautiful to contemplate. It's right there in the text. So you just got to get you a nice old, get you a Septuagint so you can get out of these books that's remixed to oblivion. Yeah. Beautiful to contemplate. And having taken of his fruit, she ate, and she gave it to her husband also with her, and they ate. So the first thing we got here is it's pleasant in the eyes, right? They're making it a point to say that. When somebody says something in their work, when they're writing, doing a poem, or they're writing a book or whatever, they say I do this for a living. I'm telling you, every word you put in there for a reason. So what is the most pleasant thing to the eyes? It's light. You can go, oh, well, the food was pleasant to the eyes. That means, like, if you look at some food, it look good and delicious. You're like, no, because if we just talking about trees with fruit, remember, they grew up in the garden. They lived in the garden. They seen them damn same trees and fruits every day. So that wasn't that big of a deal. Right? It's something different going on. And the snake doesn't benefit from her looking at food. But the snake does benefit, right, from her absorbing light. Light is what feeds the brain through the eyes. The light goes in two pathways, right? You got the light that goes to the visual cortex and the light that goes to the hypothalamus. Two pathways, duality, right? But this is also neurochemistry, right? So the serpent is feeding himself by this is her brain. This is her inside. Like any other woman in the world. Thinking about what she wants to do with her life and starting to feel ambitious and like, hey, what is going on? She's looking at her husband like, look, we're going to be here every day. And you know how girls get. We're going to be here every day. Like, we got to do something, So this is internal, where all initiation takes place. Remember, I kept telling you the definition of esoteric means inner things. This is an inner thing. This is an inner thing that's going on. Transformation is internal. And it's not an external thing. So anybody that even play it like that, you already know they don't know what they're talking about. Like you hear certain people online, oh, if your spirituality doesn't make money, that's not real spirituality because God doesn't want me to be broke. God doesn't want you to be a moral-less scumbag either. So my spirituality is not on sale. You're like, damn, Ink, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing as a message to put out there. If your spirituality don't make money, your spirituality is fake. That leads to the mindset of money at all costs. You might as well be a fucking rapper. And just say money over everything. Money first, bitches and hoes and, fuck them kids. I ain't got time for kids. I'm trying to chase this bag and, fuck with these bitches and, that kind of shit. Nah, bro, that ain't it. That's not spirituality. The money is important, but the money got to come with building your moral character, building your intelligence, building your conversation, building your compassion, your empathy. And then those things lead you to better situations and people, because your morals, listen to this, it's important. Your morals shape your personal magnetism. So if you want your personal magnetism increase, that is a way. That's not the only way. You know what I'm saying? Some other paths, there's always another path. But you really get into that where there's a dark path and a light path. You know what I'm saying? You can get into that. But anyway, I just want y'all to be focused on this information. And the eyes of both were opened, and they perceived. You see that word again? Let me get another underliner. It's right there in the Bible. And say it right there clear for you. Bang. And the eyes of both were opened, and they perceived that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves. What does that say right there? What does this say right here in the Bible? Please. What did they do with those fig leaves, people? Come on. What did they do with those fig leaves? Just in case you fully didn't understand that this was an initiation right here in Genesis chapter 3. Listen. Come on, y'all. It's right there. It's low-hanging fruit now. It's low-hanging fruit. I know y'all know the magic number in masonry now. That ain't telling no damn secret. Everybody know that number 3 is the number. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really the inside Masonic number. But I'm saying from the external universe, Master Mason, 33rd degree. You got the 3rd degree Mason and the 33rd. That's all people know. There's only a 3 and a 33. So for me, that's low-hanging fruit. Like there's literally in the Bible an initiation taking place in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is an initiation, and it's being conducted by a nigga. Literally, it's a Mason conducting an initiation in the Bible. 3rd chapter. What else do y'all know about Masonry that's popular? You know, there's 2 pillars. I don't know what else you know, but 2 pillars is associated with Masonry. Well, what are they talking about? 2 pillars, right? Because they ate from one tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But what's going to happen? God is getting ready to get them up out of the garden before they could eat from the other tree, because the other tree would give them immortality. 2 trees, 2 pillars. 2 pillars. Neither one of them got fruit hanging off of it. So knock off the tree shit, okay? One of them is giving you information, and the other one is giving you immortality. Neither one of them is giving you a banana. This is an initiation taking place. That's what's happening. That's why after the initiation, what happened? Their eyes was open. So what that mean? The blindfold came off. Now you can see. They got initiated. That was initiation. Genesis chapter 3. The 3rd chapter of the Bible is an initiation. I'm going to just keep saying this so that shit can sink into your mind. They like, oh, yo, Inky going crazy. Yeah, hit the Cash App. If you learn something, spend something. This class is not for the cheap. This is a super high level class in symbol literacy. This is some other shit. This is anatomy, physiology, history, science. This is everything together. This is some other shit. And I'm giving away the books. And I should be selling this book for $500. That's how, if I print these, I might print these still anyway, even after I give a zillion of them away. I still might print some because I think I want one in print. I think I need to have one, at least for myself. But I can't do that. I got to print up some number. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, I'll probably print these up. You know what I'm saying? Just to have one, because it's looking like it's going to be more than 600-700 pages. It's getting crazy. You know, but I've been studying this my whole life, so it's so much. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all listening like, yo, nobody ever explained the initiation, the Masonic initiation in Genesis chapter 3. What the is Inky talking about? Man, we got 600-700 slides of this kind of shit, I'm telling you. Initiation. Yeah. So after the initiation, they got their aprons. Yeah, it's right there. I'm not putting no words in there. It's right in there. Yeah. It's all Genesis chapter 3. So after they did the initiation, they got their first aprons. Their first aprons is kind of a little tacky, cheap, but that's how it goes. Right? And the Lord God said to the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and all the brutes of the earth. On thy breast and belly thou shalt go, and thou shalt eat earth all the days of thy life. Now, that is not necessarily as bad as y'all would think that is. Because you got to remember, right after he creates Adam and Eve, he says that the ground is full of gold and minerals. So anytime in the Bible, when you're hearing that, in your mind, you might be thinking like when you sweep the kitchen, that's what y'all niggas thinking. When you sweep up the kitchen or the dining room and you got a big pile of crap, you thinking that's dust. When the Bible say dust from the ground, that's what you thinking. You thinking like when you walk in the street and you see garbage on the floor, empty soda cans, cigarette butts, and all this other shit. You thinking that in your mind when you hear dust of the ground. That's not what this is, though. This is either barren soil that's not fertile, or this is highly fertile soil with gold and all kinds of gemstones and minerals and the shit. And where they at here is the Garden of Eden. So I promise you that, you know, forcing a snake to have a life of eating gold and gemstones is not exactly a punishment. You think these is punishments. I'm trying to tell you, these is not really the punishments. The only reason the serpent got in trouble is because the serpent, he broke protocol. So if you get initiated somewhere, you're going to get obligations. You're going to get obligation, and based on what you're being initiated into and whatever your level of proficiency is, how well you understand it, you will be allotted a safe space to communicate the ideas of whatever you're getting into with the public. But if you're dumb and you don't really understand the organization, then nobody wants you to represent them until you know what the hell you're talking about. So it's not like, oh, keep secrets. No, it's just, here's the books. So for the first year or so, you just need to read these books. Don't start going out there telling nobody you know something, because you don't know nothing. Read these books. Now, once you study up, remember what degree means. Degree means you got ability to teach. You got responsibility to teach. You got degrees, you got to teach. So it's not about secret. You're supposed to teach. If you got light, you're supposed to shine it. You a star. Right? But he broke protocol, so that's why he getting whooped out. And to the woman said he said, I will greatly multiply thy pains and thy groanings. In pain thou shalt bring forth children, and thy submission shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Bro, I got to put me on the big screen for this. I want to give y'all a target because I know a lot of the ladies gonna hate this shit right here. Because this is like, this verse right here, Margaret Sanger used this verse specifically to beat women into submission with lies. Lies. Okay, first things first. Before we even get into the specifics of the moment, again, you got to read this and read it, whether you believe that the Bible is real events or not. That's like if you pick up a Harry Potter book. Whether you believe it's real or not, while you reading it, you got to be in the story world to really fully enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? When you're reading a good book, that book should allow you to go to that place, right? You should be able to mentally take a journey to that place, right? So whether you believe it's real, this, that, and the other, don't, just get into the story. In the story, and you know, it bugs me out because I'd be like, yo, how is people this dumb? Okay, cool though. In the story, Adam was made from the dirt of the ground. Adam don't have a mother. Adam was made from the dirt of the ground. So Adam doesn't know anything about birthing. Not because he's a man. Oh yeah, he's a man. He don't know nothing about no childbirth. How would a man know about that? He wasn't born. He was made from the dirt of the ground. And then Eve was made from dirt also, right? From the rib of Adam, right? But Adam is made out of dirt. He's a dirt bag. Yo, Adam is a dirt bag, right? And Eve was part dirt. Eve is a little section of that dirt. God didn't even go back to the ground for her. He just grabbed the dirt from Adam so that Eve can be a part. He took a part of him. So that's already talking about soulmate. One soul, two people. Eve is not separate. In fact, Eve is not even Eve at this point. Y'all motherfuckers so slow. Y'all don't even know that Eve don't have a name. Eve doesn't even have a name yet in the Bible. Eve doesn't even get a name. She doesn't even have a value. The only value she has is to keep Adam happy. That's it. Hang out with your man. He's lonely. Hang out with him. And it's not hard because they only got really like one mind. They're like robots. They didn't really have a full mind. It was like robots. It's literally clay. You got to think. It's just dirt that he shaped up, you know, blew the breath of life. So now it's a living, breathing soul, but there's nothing in there. You know the saying, yo, I wasn't born big. Adam was born big. Adam and Eve was born big. You know how you say, yo, I wasn't born last night. I wasn't born big. They was born last night and big. They made out of dirt, nigga. I need y'all to understand, this is an initiation. They didn't get punished. They got a blessing. They got a gift. You looking at slaves being set free. This is a story that's supposed to be inspirational. They trapped in the garden to work and not really fully work because they're not even qualified to work. So in my mind, and this is where conjecture can come in, I'm thinking that God was prepping them for work. That's what I'm thinking. Because you ain't got nobody on vacation just laying up, eating up a bunch of shit around for no reason. So clearly he made Adam so Adam could get busy. You know what I'm saying? With something, whatever that was. You know what I'm saying? And God didn't have this plan. That's another thing that might mess people up. Like, wait, God knows everything. God didn't have this planned. That's why the snake got in trouble. The snake, let me take that back. God didn't have it planned in this time frame. That's my opinion. The plan was already set before he made Adam, or he wouldn't have made him. But the snake broke protocol. And if you join an organization, whatever that is, you'll have rules, you'll have protocols you have to follow. You know what I'm saying? And even in love, like you do your children, if your children violate, you still got to say no video games for the next 2 weeks, or you staying. And I don't mean you don't love your children, but you're teaching them. They're babies. And even though Adam and Eve was big, they were babies, not because they were babies in the eyes of God. No, they just was made from dirt. Nigga, I got to keep saying that. They was born big. They was dumb. And they was in the garden where everything was done for them. So think about it. These are super silver spoon kids. Like, these are silver spoon kids beyond your imagination. These motherfuckers was invented in the garden. So that means what? That means that Eve doesn't know what childbirth is. And neither one of them know what hard work is. They don't do hard work. They in the Garden of Eden. Everything is clean. The food is already being grown for them. Everything is being done for them. They're just being pampered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So now what happens? Ahead of schedule, because God in this scenario is the master. You can tell that just from the authority. He has the ability to judge. So he's the master of the lodge. So you're like, oh, whoa, you done already? What? And you can't uninitiate. It's over. Once you get initiated, your mind is open to another, like, oh, wow. So now it's like, okay, well, shit. And if you a parent, you probably went through this. You know what I'm saying? For me, it doesn't get easier. With every one of my children, I got 4 adults so far. Every one of them been tough when they get to that stage where they grown and they want to be let go to do their own life and all this other shit. That shit tough. That shit is tough. And Tony was the toughest, you know what I'm saying? Because Tony was my friend so much, more than just my kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, there's a point where you got to kick them out of the nest so they can do what they do, or they might just leave the nest. Or if you hold on to them, they'll try to fly out, But that's a thing with parenting you got to deal with. So as a parent, if y'all got adult children, you might, understand some of that. All right, so this is God now explaining, right? And to the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your pain and groanings, your pain and suffering. Yeah, because now you're gonna have to be your own woman now. Y'all, I'm getting ready to put y'all up out of here. So you're gonna have to learn how to make babies. It's a wrap. If you're not in the garden no more, that's a wrap. We only make humans with this soil right here. This soil right here, this is special soil right here. So we use this soil right here. And y'all getting ready to get up out of here. Y'all already done sped up. Y'all already somewhere else. I didn't intend for y'all to be here this fast. I just made y'all 2 chapters ago. You know what I'm saying? But you done listened to homeboy. He done sped up your initiation. So now y'all, now it's time for y'all to go out in the world and do what y'all do. So he's explaining to her what childbirth is going to be like. Like, yo, it's going to be really painful, but this is what you got to do because here's your job. You know what I'm saying? So now she's getting an importance. Now she's getting a career, right? And he has to tell her because Adam and soon to be Eve are both used to taking orders from him. So when he says, and thy submission shall be to thy husband, he shall rule over thee. Look at the sentence. It says, thy submission shall be to thy husband. So the submission is something that already exists. It's not him saying you will submit to your husband or you'll learn how to be. No, it's you've already submit to my authority, but now I'm not going to be your authority no more. Now you're going to have to look to your husband. Y'all going to have to really do this thing now. Now y'all ready. Y'all ready. You know, it's earlier than I thought, but y'all ready. Y'all can step out there and this is how you make a family. It's going to be painful for you because you're going to have to carry these babies. And oh, buddy, Adam, because you listen, you're going to have to work, champ. You're going to have to eat your food. You're going to have to get it out the mud. That's all God is telling Adam. Like, yo, you got to get it out the mud now. You getting ready to have you some babies and a family. Y'all already got y'all education. It's time, champ. What you need from me? I'm going to get y'all up out of here. What you need from me? Here's some money. Figure it out, right? So that's all. It's not a curse. It's a father figure telling his son, okay, you're going to have to go out there and get to it, champ. You're going to have to work. You're not used to this because y'all used to being here with everything taken care of y'all, hand and foot, you know, but no. You got to get up out of here and you're going to have to work. And when you leave here, again, remember what I said, the soil here is amazing. But when you leave here, oh, that soil, that's cursed. That's barren. That's unfertile. So you're going to have to learn how to tend to the soil. You're going to have to do what? Practice. Go ahead. Say it before I say it. You're going to have to practice husbandry. Let's look up husbandry. Right? Let's look up husbandry. Let me pull up husbandry real quick. I know it's somebody that needs to see this. Bang. See? Bang. All right. The care, cultivation, husbandry. The care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals. There's no curse happening there in Genesis, people. This is what I tell my son daily to get him ready for life. He's 13 now. I'm like, bro, you know, when you get older, you got to do this. I hope you're watching the sacrifices I'm making, champ, because this is what you got to do as a man. This is what it look like. You're going to have choices. It's going to be like this, but you're going to have to go the other way. Niggas going to be going to the party in the club and you're going to be going to work, champ. Or you're going to have to go and, you know, you got to go this route. And it may not show up immediately, but your sacrifices, the pain that you go through for your family is going to pay off in the long run. Even if it don't pay off externally out in the world, it's going to pay off internally inside your family unit with love. You know what I'm saying? You're going to raise good, strong adults. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this was. That's what this was. This was not what y'all all thought. This was an initiation of personal development, and then a parent allowing his babies to get on out there and figure it out. Right? Now, check out what happens next. And Adam called the name of his wife Life. Go into the Septuagint. Stop reading them remixed books. It does not say Eve, and it does not say Hawa. Okay, it says life. I need y'all to get that because that's super important. It says life. And when you read it in the Hebrew has it's a chava. Chava. It's not Hawa. Hawa doesn't mean nothing. That's gobbledygook. That's gobbledygook. That ain't nothing. It's you gotta get your throat involved with it. You gotta go to the Middle East. You ain't traveling to the Middle East till you start. You get some of that in, then you speaking that Hebrew and that Arabic. You gotta get that in. And trust me, the African languages, that should get even crazier. You know what I'm saying? So, but her name, life. So I think this is like verse 20. This is like verse 20 or verse 21 of chapter 3. So she does not get a name until this moment. So all this time when the snake is talking to her, she doesn't even have a name. So it ain't even like he can strike up a conversation. That's how you know it's an internal dialogue. She don't even have a name until this moment. And Adam called the name of his wife Life, because she was the mother of all living. And the Lord God made for Adam and his wife garments of what? Skin, and clothed them. Wait, what is going on? And can you sure this is the Bible? It is. It's just that you guys are getting initiated, so your eyes are being opened. You don't get this process. I am a little mini star, and I am radiating, I'm emitting, I'm shining my light onto you guys. All right? Here, the woman gets a name and a career path as a mom. She is named after, drum roll, please. Let's go ahead and make that a little bigger. Here, the woman gets a name and a career path. Let me get even bigger. Bang. She is named after Isis. Chava means to exist, to be alive, or to create life. Isis comes from the root ice or is. And that's the same root that gives us the word is, right? But that root means to be, to exist, to live. The same root that you use to get the word Hiram, which means much life, just like Eve's name or Chava's name, right? But Eve is a lot sexier than Chava, right? Especially in America. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in Jewish circles where people are used to speaking like that, it's cool. But if you're not used to them type of languages, that's not sexy at all. If I got to do that when I call your name, it's probably not gonna, it's not gonna hit here like it might hit overseas. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I get the name change. Cool, Eve. But that's also to try to make Eve look evil. You know what I'm saying? Because Eve, evil, Eve, evening, Eve means the beginning of the evening. You know, you could sound into it with the evil, but Eve means evening. So what does that mean? No light, right? The light is gone. You see what I'm saying? So that's that play. God is not around, Eve being sneaky. See, that's what you know. No, that ain't it. Well, a little bit. I wouldn't say sneaky. I would say ambitious. You know, she was tired. She was ready to make a move. Like, come on, babe, I believe in you. You know, we can do this. So the next time you hear the toast, l'chaim, or you make the toast, I don't know, somebody y'all might use that. I've used it in the past to make a toast. But that's the same thing as Hiram and Eve. They all come from the word Isis. Eve, l'chaim, Hiram, all of those come from Isis, meaning to be, to exist, or to live, or to cause to live. That's what the word Isis means. Isis means I am that I am. That comes from Isis' name. To be, because her name is the same thing twice. So it means to be, to exist, to live, right? To be, I am. And it's twice, Isis. Ice, ice. To be. I am. ISIS. I told y'all, y'all gonna get this work. So I want you to really grasp this part right here. The name. Remember the name of the tree. Actually, you know what? Forget Genesis for just 1 second. A Freudian slip. Like if you don't pay attention, if you somebody that doesn't like to study, like if you join up with masonry or something else to find buddies or the network, or you trying to get a job, or you think that Masons could get out of traffic tickets and shit like that, you join, if you're doing it for any other thing than the knowledge, you're not going to be, you probably won't even really, it ain't going, you ain't going to have the same, you ain't going to get the same out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the information is there, but it does not, like when you go in there, they're going to inject you with a needle full of knowledge. It doesn't go like that. They're going to introduce it to you like, hey, look at all these books. Start with that one. Start with that. Get to that. You finish that? Read this. No, actually keep reading that till you memorize it. Repeat that whole book back to me. You're like, what? What? Like, yeah, read that book until you could repeat that whole book to me. If you can't repeat that book back to me, don't call my phone. Who the fuck is this? You talking what? That's how it is. I told you. When you join up, if you got a good group of brothers that you join in, they're gonna break that ego. It's literally like a mind rape. Yeah, they're gonna reduce you from wherever you at down to the dust of the ground like Adam to break that ego. Because they know once they start giving you all of the knowledge that that ego getting ready to go. Boom. If you got an ego and you don't know shit, what do you think is gonna happen when you start learning all kind of, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be out of control. You're gonna be out of control. Right. So the Solomon's temple, right? Here's the thing where you might miss it. In the Bible is the Solomon story. That's where the whole story is from. It's the Bible. It's the Bible story. But in the Bible, Solomon's floor is not a checkerboard. Everybody, you think that because you got so much brainwash over the years, you're going to be surprised, like I was. You read the Bible, and it is a plain wood floor. Well, not plain wood floor, it's pine. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have fir listed, you know what I'm saying? But it's a pine floor. And they put the gold on it. You know what I'm saying? They put gold everywhere. So regular wood floor with gold on it. That's Solomon's floor in the Bible. In masonry, though, Solomon's floor is the checkerboard floor. And what does it represent? The knowledge of good and evil. What was that tree that Eve ate from? What did that tree give you? Solomon's floor. Solomon's floor represented the knowledge of good and evil. That tree gave them the knowledge of good and evil. I need y'all to follow this, right? And y'all looking at me or the slide? Okay, y'all looking at me. Good. I need y'all to follow this. Knowledge. Knowledge in the Bible is light. So the knowledge of good and evil is light that they need to absorb. I'm not even sure if I took this verse and added it on here in the slides. I don't think I did, but there's a verse that I skipped but there's a verse where Adam is literally hiding behind a tree when God comes in the garden. Adam is hiding. Why? Because God is light, and Adam nor Eve have any pigment yet. They don't have any pigment. That's where shame comes from in the Bible. Shame comes from leprosy in the Bible and white skin. I didn't write the Bible, people. Y'all got to deal with that. That's what it is, though. So that's why after they get initiated, before they get put out the garden, what does that knowledge come with? New skins. They got it's right there. I didn't write the Bible. That's what's in there. Now, if you trying to make it into something that's not scientific, that's on you. If you prefer these to be mythological stories about gobbledygook, that's on you. But I know in real life, there's only one way that biological organisms absorb light, and that is through pigment, family. That is through pigment. Yes, it is. That's just how it works. So why would that not be there? God is light. You got to have pigment to get, the more pigment you got, the more God you can get in. Yeah. I didn't make the facts, family. You got to just check with yourself. Is that a fact? Does pigment absorb light? Well, how do I get the light in my eyes? Because they was talking about that in there. Oh, it's pigment in my eyes. So that was already a reference to pigment. So my eyes, and then my brain develop. Well, how does your brain develop? You have neuromelanin. So there's pigment in your eyes, about 12 different types, that sends that up to the other pigment, the neuromelanin. How else are you getting knowledge if that's not happening? See, y'all are acting like y'all are making this stuff dumb, and then y'all complaining that it's a dumb book. No, it's you. Remember, I keep telling you, books are mirrors. So if you can't see the information in there, that's because you ain't got it here yet. So you're not putting two and two together. Well, God is light. In order for people to be able to get God into the temple, the temple is the body, and you got to get God in the temple. The temple of God is your body. Well, how is he going to get in there if you don't have pigment? The less pigment you have, the more reflective your skin is. The lighter your skin, the less melanin you have, the more you reflect light instead of absorb it as a protective mechanism, because it's the pigment that changes the light as it's absorbing it so that it doesn't create tumors and cancers and shit. So when you don't have that, your body has to reflect as much of that light as possible so that you don't get cancer. This is how your body works. And if you know how your body works first, so let me give you guys the education. So here's how the education went back in the days with the learned people, right? You had your 7 subjects, but you also was homeschooled as well. So at home, you learned multiple languages. At home, you learned about your body. That was basics, like, because everybody was their own healer. This world we live in now, people depended on emergency rooms and clinics and shit like that. That wasn't the case when these books were written. Dad had to handle it. Mom had to handle it. And as the kid in the house, you was an apprentice. You was learning to follow dad and see what dad do, how he doing shit. Follow mom, see what she. That's how you was learning, eyeballing. He was eyeballing shit. Yeah. So knowledge of good and evil is Solomon's floor. Knowledge of good and evil was obtained. Remember, Solomon's floor is symbolic. Symbolic of what? The knowledge of good and evil. The tree, they absorbed the knowledge of good and evil. Now think about it. The only way they could die from absorbing light is if they don't have no pigment. And literally, after the incident, God gives them skin. Like, this is literally right here. I don't even have to look for this shit. But wait, let me tell you where it gets even crazier. Because, and I'm like you, so that's how I can understand shit sometimes, because you might do something, I might do the same thing, right? So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you hear mosaic, come on now, if we talking about anything Bible and you hear mosaic, like when you hear mosaic, they talk about that with the, if you go into church and they got like the nice glass windows, or they got nice, that, oh yeah, that's mosaic, that's, and we just, in our mind, we think that's some type of Moses reference. We're like, oh yeah, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But let me show you this shit, because when I seen this, I was like, oh, if I had any doubts, my doubts was removed at this moment. Hold on. Where is this shit at? This damn book. What page are we on right now? Okay, we somewhere around here. I don't even know where we at. Okay, we were somewhere around here, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is God just made garments of skin and clothed them. Okay, bang. Look at this. Look at the definition for this shit. Yo, I was done. When I looked this up, I was done. Look what mosaic means. Look what the definition for mosaic is. Individual, especially an animal, composed of cells of two genetically different types. So if I was having any doubt in my mind that the mosaic tile might not really be talking about skin, even though we know at that time, just like now, but back then it was even worse. The contention was between blacks and whites, hard. Woo! So that was that's on one layer, that's the fabric of society, but that's skin. I'm like, So when I look this up and I find out that mosaic means two different types of cells, oh, it's over. I'm done. I'm like, yo, hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Cash App. I just went platinum. We just went crazy with this shit. Hit the Cash App, man. We just redefined Genesis. We just went through hundreds of years of brainwash. We just cut through the night. Everybody owe me psychology bills. Come on. Psychiatrist for this kind of shit, it'd be like $800 an hour. What we doing? $ Minister Inky. Let's hit the Cash App. Yeah, that's in my mind. It's over. It's over. Like, Inky, why do you think that? Because what kind of skin, what type of pigment you got? That's super specific. You only got two types of pigment that goes in your skin that's going to pigment you. Pheomelanin and eumelanin. Yeah. Pheomelanin, eumelanin. Two skin. I said, oh shit, this be crazy. I'm a genius. I had to tell myself, I was like, you a genius for this one. You might be legendary for some other shit, but this one here, shit. I was like the guy, you be seeing the movies, and like it'd be some white guy with a really nice outfit on and shit. He'd be having like a $75 haircut. And you get ready to think this nigga got some super deep shit he involved in, but really he just like a slick burglar and he know how to crack open the safes. But that should be looking super fly. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just, this is nobody can crack into this safe. And then come right up there, put his glasses on and shit. Put a cup or something to the safe. You know what I'm saying? Move the covers up to the shit and just start. That's what I did. I just unlocked the code. Huh? We bust the code out. That was crazy. We bust that code out. Yes. That's the mystery of Esau and Jacob. That's the mystery of Esau and Jacob, who pretty much, Esau and Jacob is the main story of the Old Testament. Jesus is the guy in the future. But Jacob, the Old Testament belongs to Jacob. I kid you not. Before Jacob is about leading to Jacob. After Jacob is about leading to Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, but the Old Testament is Jacob's book. You know what I'm saying? So don't think he's like one of the begat. No, that's Jacob becomes Israel, right? And the story of Israel starts with the red and the black, the pheomelanin versus the eumelanin. And there's a struggle for birthright between the pheomelanin and the eumelanin. Right there. Mosaic ain't got nothing to do with Moses. Mosaic ain't got nothing to do with Moses. Come on now. Come on now. Mosaic ain't got nothing to do with Moses. Man, that shit tough right there. Shit. That's tough. Woo! That's some shit there. Right? But then it goes further, right? Hold on. It goes further. So you got to think. That's what I'm saying. You got to go into the symbols. And you can't if you don't got it here first. That's why you got to do a lot of studying to even be able to study symbols. Because if it ain't here, you ain't going to get it. Right? So you're not going to be able to do what I just did and unravel 2,000-year-old mystery. That's what I just did. Nobody did that. I did that, and now y'all the first to hear that shit. Yeah. Nice to meet y'all. Right? Nobody's going to do that. So this is a whole nother level. Right? And now, what's the other piece? What's the other piece? How do you know this is genetics? How do you know? What's the first clue that it should be genetics? None of the shit that we talked about. Let me give you a hint. I didn't mention it at all this whole show. When you look at the mosaic tile, what is the first hint that is genetics? A mosaic tile is a chessboard. A chessboard is 64 squares. 64 goes to the 64 codons. That's the language of your DNA. Yeah. Listen, first of all, it's 64 squares. Listen, it's 64 squares. This shit. See, I can study this shit forever. I love it. I entertain the fuck out of myself. It's 64 squares. So that automatically speaks to the 64 codons. You know, it's a whole nother space. It's other shit to understand. So now, when I get to this MIT article, oh, this right here took it to a whole nother level. This right here took it to a whole nother level. I was done after this. It was over. I had all the confirmation I needed. Why eumelanin is such a good absorber of light. The disorder that turned out to be ketotine, and we're going to study this shit 1,000 times till you memorize this shit. So don't say, oh, we already went over it. We're going to go over these things 1,000 times till you memorize them. right? Y'all want to learn how I learn? That's you're part of it. It's not, you don't get to get surface level information. You got to study this shit 20, 30, 40,000 times till it's you can breathe it. Till you can wake up and spit it back. The disorder that turned out to be key, the team says, a physical disorder called geometric disorder is different from the chemical disorder that other researchers have studied. It turns out that both kinds of disorder may play a complementary role in producing eumelanin's broadband absorption. So what are they talking about? Chaos. That's what this disorder symbolizes, chaos, right? The chaos of what? Creation. Every creation story starts out with chaos. Your melanin starts out with chaos. That's how melanin works. The material, the melanin, forms what? Tiny crystals. Okay, let's stop right the fuck there. What are crystals, everybody? Let's all say it together. Crystals are stones. Crystals are rocks. You know, the stones, rocks, bricks, like, you know, Masons deal with, you know, hint, hint, wink, wink. Your body is all crystal. God is a Mason. Y'all just don't get it yet. The material forms tiny crystals, a chemically ordered state, but with intrinsic randomness, such that the orientations of the stacked molecules could be arbitrary and the sizes of the crystals different, forming aggregate structures that are highly disordered. That combination of order and disorder contributes to eumelanin's broadband absorption, the team found. So literally, melanin, eumelanin specifically, it functions just as a checkerboard. It functions just as a checkerboard. And to slap you in the face further, add insult to injury, it's little rocks at the end of the day. Little stones, tiny crystals. This MIT you got to argue with, champ. Look at the table that you learned in school, how electrons work. Look, this is the table. When you in school and they teaching you how electron valence work, they literally use the same. Bro, but see, the thing is, nobody can't figure this out, because in order to figure this kind of shit out, you got to be somebody that's studying the Bible and somebody that's studying this type of geek squad shit. And yeah, that's why God made me. He was like, damn, I don't know. Yeah, we're going to need to get us one. Bang. So we got Inky. But this is literally what God made me for. Right? So this is what the checkerboard would look like mathematically. I just went ahead and I said, let me go ahead and draw. Let me go ahead and run that. Let me go ahead and put that together for y'all so y'all can see what that thing will look like. Because y'all didn't realize what y'all was looking at when y'all was watching The Matrix. Y'all didn't realize that y'all was looking at masonry in The Matrix. The whole Matrix series. How many movies is The Matrix? What's happening in The Matrix? Did Neo die and come back multiple times? Was he not initiated by Morpheus? Like, what? Y'all, did y'all know what y'all watched? Nope. Y'all didn't know what y'all watched, but y'all loved it. You know why? Because it awoke something in your DNA. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for me to show shit like this. Look, this ain't come from no other place. This came from the shrine of the nobles. This is the shrine of the nobles. So now if you know, then you already know it's up. As soon as you hear shrine of the nobles, it's up. You're like, shrine of the nobles, wait. That's where that's at. That's a Moorish. You thinking that's a Moorish something, or you thinking that belongs to the Shriners, or you thinking, no, that's old school. That's your shit. You been had that. right? You been had that. And you been had the checkerboard, the chessboard. Yeah, these are all from Kemet. You didn't think they had children in Kemet? The fuck, you didn't think they played with their kids? Y'all niggas goofy out there. Fuck, you thought they was walking around. What do you think they was doing in Kemet? Y'all be reading these books. I'm wondering where y'all be at in y'all mind. I don't know what y'all was thinking. You think kids 5,000 years ago wasn't bad as hell like your kids today? Yeah, they need a game, shit to occupy their mind. You got to sit them down, teach them, train. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we don't got to look at that to know what the game board looked like. We know what the board looked like. It looked just like the ceiling, not the floor. Notice the difference. We had it on the ceiling. That's the ceiling in the shrine of the nobles. Woo! Woo! Yeah, yeah. Yo, A.A. Rashid is what Griselda was about to. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get knocked by the Revo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars and probation. Sign that a whole ass for them YouTube donations. Once I start robbing niggas, you gonna see the bitch come out rich. He gonna try to hide behind can't buy them Professor Rick for real. Add more niggas to the pot. That's how you spoil thieves. I'm taking Cam CD money and so late royalties. Rich gonna try to pull pills over this pistol shit. But that's only gonna get them niggas robbed for like crystal shit. Rich gonna call Supernova next, but I can handle the ball. I wait for him to go OT and sneak rob and stall. I ain't chasing with that nigga. He got a couple screws loose for real. King Simon is the puppy. He's conscious blue things now. He a big dog in the elder, so I'm sorry. But she was Lloyd laying that numerology though. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, it get different when the rabbit got the gun. This yo, A.A. Rashid is what Griselda was about to. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jacked for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get knocked by the Revo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars and probation. I'm signing that old ass for them YouTube donations. Once I start robbing niggas, you gonna see the bitch come out rich. He gonna try to hide behind can't buy them Professor Rick for real. Add more niggas to the pot. That's how you spoil thieves. I'm taking Cam CD money and so late royalties. Rich gonna try to pull the pills over this pistol shit. But that's only gonna get them niggas robbed for like crystal shit. Rich gonna call Supernova next, but I can handle the ball. I wait for him to go OT and sneak rob and stall. I ain't chasing with that nigga. He got a couple screws loose for real. King Simon is a puppy. He's conscious blue things now. He a big dog. Yo, A.A. Rashid is what Griselda was about to. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get yo, A.A. Rashid is what Griselda was about to. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jacked for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get knocked by the Revo. Plus he snitching. Yo, A.A. Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. It's about to. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jacked for life for them cars, you know how he go. Yeah, you might got to see this one again, though. This is a melanocyte controlling the cardiac cells. So the melanin control your heartbeat. Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He's stunned rental. I might get knocked by the repo. Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get knocked by the repo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars and probation. That's for the YouTube donation. Once I start rapping niggas, you gonna see the bitch come out rich. He gonna try to care about him, Professor Griff. Add more niggas to the pot. That's how you spoil these. I'm taking care. Hold on, let me see this. Let you see this uncle. Okay, no wait. This right here, well, we went over this 1,000 times, but we can go over this 10,000 times. Every mitochondria in your body has to have melanin attached to it in order for it to work. That's what this is. This is an up-close look at the mitochondria. So on the left, you don't really have the color stains in there so you can see what's what. It's focused on showing you the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is the long, wormy-looking snake-like germs. The dots, the little black dots you see, those dots are melanin. Those are melanin granules. And then on the right, the oval-shaped black spots, the big ones, those are melanosomes. Those are the enzymes that actually produce the melanin. You know what I'm saying? So don't listen to these people talk that mitochondria shit and mitochondria hacking and all them niggas. Don't stop watching all them white folks with all that goofball shit. You know what I'm saying? And not that they're not giving you correct information. They're just giving you incomplete information. You can't hack no mitochondria if you're not talking about melanin, because melanin is what controls how mitochondria work. So if you're not dealing with that, you're not dealing with no mitochondria. You playing with it. You playing with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's where that's at. I'm just trying to keep you together. Wait, hold up. Give me 1 second. Bang, bang. A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. It's that time to start robbing niggas now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunt rentals. I might get knocked by the repo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars. Look at that unk. Look at the unk right there. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. Hold on. I got to find a way to bring that there. Pause. Look at this thing here. Is that not a thing of beauty? Now, if I didn't get these microscope shots, we would never see this. And nobody's ever going to tell you this. Nobody's ever going to tell you that this unk is electromagnetic, but look at it. I'm showing you. You ain't seen this nowhere. Dr. Africa ain't show you this shit. Neither is none of them niggas that be remixing my shit going to show you this shit. You got to come to the source. This is what I'm doing when y'all sending the cash apps, when y'all support. This is what I'm doing. He gonna try to hop out the can buy them best of bread for real. Add more niggas to the pot. That's how you spoil these. I'm taking care of CD. That's what I'm saying. You could read 1,000 books on melanin, champ. You could read 1,000 books on melanin until you actually see melanin transfer pigment into a skin cell, a keratinocyte. Until you see it, you don't know shit. You got to see it. Ain't nobody showing you melanin, especially in the heart, but Dr. Inky. Add more niggas to the pot. That's how you spoil these. I'm taking care of CD money. Soleil royalty. Oh, this do shit.
some shit which gonna cause that's gonna handle the ball. OT and Steve Rob is all. I ain't checking with that nigga. He got a couple screws loose for real. King Simon is a puppy. He the conscious loose screws now. He a big dog in the elder, so I'm sorry. But so Lloyd Lane for that numerology double. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, it different when the rabbit got the gun. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, it different when the rabbit got the gun. Bill gonna call me on the phone like, hey, what's up? Rush her off the phone and send a Pope Rizzy 19 and Ben don't think I'm holy. Muslim niggas up.
For that bean pie money.
We kidnapped some Wesley from like, he got no reminder. That nigga, he's stealing my swag.
There's way too much heat trying to rob the police. Now, what I said, if I catch Jabari slipping, you're gonna think I'm tripping. I'm giving my Israelites the signal. Steal everything Egyptian. Robin Curtis costs easy. He's still on Cosby Pudding. I'm hitting Black Dot for IP and antique video footage. Oh my goodness.